citizens of the NSK state, brothers and sisters. This, what is basing the world, is not of it. And there is no existence alone in no existing. The being alone, according to which something is not what existing thing is not here. The certainty of the world, its consistence, is in basis always certain and consistence in the class which is never the class of the world. Proof, against which no proof to the contrary is possible, and which is the absolute certainty, is consequently this, that this what would be the formal or the material element, what would thus have the character of being, that this at this proof is not. It is already denied in it. From here out, from this supposition, which is not embraced by retroactive reflection, from this nothing, for which we cannot say that it is nothing, and it cannot be denied, it cannot be denied. Only from it something is. It is reality, the truth, even nothing. The truest is in it, for it is not grasped by any lie. It cannot be withered by anything. Such consideration, which presents or affirms a priori to the formal and to the virtual the pre-existing moment, or the unconceptualized, non-existent point, such consideration, which denies its own place of statement, is thus with itself in a deep contradiction, in a great error. But let's say up so. Right that obscurity, that incomprehensible object, this killing moment in root identity proposition, which excludes validity or non-validity of the proposition of the subject of the assertion, but it is from the form of assertion a contradiction, is therefore the real, firm and sole valid identity point of that absurd, impossible institution. This aporia, this nothing, is mind, or the absolute. To be valid in this horrible situation demands infinity, indetermination, and these are characteristics of the mind. The mind cannot be limited, we cannot shut it in, because it sets limits up or abolishes them. The other name for this is freedom. And because the limitations don't exist for it, it is within all of them, in all finalities, individualities, differentness, and it combines them into itself. So it cannot be more comprehensible that the mind, this more than paradox, or better, over tautology, for it includes, controls all negations, for it can pull itself from all the differences and contradictions with the rope fastened to nothing, this engineer is our connection with truth and reality. By it we, from weakness and impossibility and broken under the burden of lies, touch the reality, step solemnly into it, and we also reach deeper into it. Right, the mind goes from nothing into being, from opposite into identity validity, from the not empirical into the real. In the mind is connected the null, the unthinkable with the valid, the real. Because of mind we speak about what it is impossible to speak, but it is real. Knowing about it is right this point of its over tautologism, in which the permanent paradox is already its abolition, in which a word becomes flesh, it is a thought, a thing. For the absolute is an object of mental determination that it is not. Within this institution is conquered also the basic contradiction of the human society. On one side we have life as an empirical, not freedom, dependence from the outer powers, which we try, for that something little of our courage, pull out at least a small piece, for them harmless or superfluous sweets. But we are, in spite of all our efforts, covered by the night, this evil, dark nature or matter. And by us is so, as if we have never existed before. On the other side, we have the consciousness that also the death is only a certain moment which is produced by reflection based on ultimative and undestructible platform of the infinity. In the absolute, matter, death have their place under the sun, but only as an empirical moment. In truth, such as we think that they are not. The difference is in the mind already the ones. Or taught in this manner, the reality of victory over the reality happens in this, what this reality is not, but it is from it. This is spirit. Our freedom is from the over-real validity of the spirit. At this point, I'd like to say 2 words about the single idea of NSK. We said that the ultimate truth was what presupposed, generated the empirical gesture, but it is not in the actuality. We don't see it. NSK participates on such truth. NSK is unspeakable, enigmatic something that we are talking about, but nobody knows what is it. Some holy grail. But content comes from it, ideas, free creativity, the meaning is based on it, and stimuli. The unknown is exciting. The unknown, undefinite, creates excitement, being, sense. We don't know anything about the NSK essence, and that's the best for all. It cannot be cancelled by any negation, for it already involves it. And out of this paradox of the definable indefinability comes out the concept of the NSK state. Therefore, it must be said at once. The NSK state doesn't offer anything practical. It is not such like what would be useful for the concrete real life. But it offers more. It offers the consciousness that not earlier than in this nothing, in this independence from the real structures that rules society, from the cruelly natural one, that not earlier than in this exceeding moment of the abstract ideal apeiron lies the basic self of the subject, its freedom, indestructible and dispossessing individuum dignity. That not earlier than in this exceeding nothing of the real, a man realizes himself as freedom. Thus the manifestation of the infinite, or told in this way, this, that the real politicality for the realization of your political identity doesn't mean anything to you, write this nothing is the basic constitutive moment of your dignity and freedom, your social subject affirmation, your power and independence. At first your value, but then self-confident relation to the world. From here on, a lot is possible. For to the infinite, the real is subordinated. So the freedom awareness is presumption to the good existence of the concrete sociality and the power for instrumentalization of the pragmatic effects. The NSK state is therefore, according to the before told, more real than the actual one, for the truth is more than concrete. This is thus the total state.